Hello, Guardians. It is Ebontis here, and today, Legend Lost Sector is going to be K1 Crew Quarters. This is for June 28th. We're going to be going after chest farms, if that's what you're going for. There's some pretty good chests out there for pretty much every class. Modifiers, we're going to be doing with Barrier and Overload Fallen champions. We've got Fallen modifiers, Hot Knife, so your Shanks are going to have solar shields. Got to have a way to tackle those. And your burn is going to be arc damage, so you definitely want to match your heavy up with arc. So I'm going to give you guys some options, but as you guys know, this is going to be a basics level run from me, so you guys can add any exotics and any supers you want to make this thing hopefully go much faster. Loadout wise, of course, I'm going to be going anti-barrier scout rifle just to, plink off things at range if I need to. And then also overload hand cannon, basic level hand cannon. I got a decent fate bringer that I like, but I'm just going to use a low level one for you guys. Just something not even masterworked. Biggest thing, put major spec on any of your weapons that you're using here. So anything you do to champions is going to be a little bit more substantial. Your nice little 7%. So overload hand cannon, check. Anti-barrier scout rifle, check. Now, if you don't have this solar scout rifle, because this is one that can drop this season, and maybe you saved one, maybe you didn't. Maybe you got Vision of Confluence, maybe you don't. If you've been playing for a while, though, you probably have Skyburner's Oath, so don't forget about this one. As for the burn, it is arc damage. And you don't theoretically have any arc shields, but if you take a heavy weapon in that does arc damage, it will be very beneficial because any arc damage that you do will be increased. Now, you could take a grenade launcher with breach and clear and just absolutely smash away. Just throw a breach and clear over here, you're good to go. I'm taking a rocket launcher because, again, it's just a basic level weapon that I've got. If you've got Wardcliff Coil, I can honestly imagine this thing will absolutely melt everything you point your weapon at. So Wardcliff Coil being one of the older exotics, but it is an arc rocket launcher. It's going to be really powerful against pretty much anything you look at. So don't forget about that one. Anarchy, of course, is going to be good. You could bust out Thunderlord if you're really just in a pinch. But if you're going through exotics, Wardcliff Coil, Anarchy, those are all going to be viable options. Probably not going to recommend a sword just because, proximity in champions always gets a bit spicy. But again, any ranged arc weapon for your heavy is probably going to be a reasonable idea. Rocket launcher, grenade launcher, machine gun if you want to go that direction as well. But that's the main thing. Of course, make sure you got your scavenger for your heavy weapon, your reserves for your heavy weapon, and then your ammo finder for your heavy weapon. Anything else you want, it's only 1310 in here, so it's not quite as crucial to be like running Protective Light or Ashes to Assets or any other mods that I've got on here. These are nice. Arc grenades kind of works out because you're going to probably run an arc subclass anyway. You can stun overload champions, so if you have any issues with them, this is a nice way to have a backup stun. And then also Sundering Blast if you're not using a grenade launcher. If you're using a grenade launcher, use Breach and Clear. It's just like the way to go this season. But if you're not using a rocket launcher, or grenade launcher, I should say, stunning a champion creates an explosive blast. Never a bad thing. It does damage to the champion, and if anybody's around them when they get damaged, it also typically kills them as well. Especially with the barriers who are usually shielded. All the enemies hanging out nearby, and then you bust the barrier champion and it explodes. It's going to kill half the guys that are around it too. So don't forget about those. Arc subclass works well because you only have to worry about solar shields, and you've already got that covered. So let's jump in, show you guys how this works, and see if I get anything good. All right, so as we jump in, first thing you're going to have is some adds down here to your left. So you can pull out your scout rifle, hand cannon, whatever you feel close to. My hand cannon doesn't have a ton of range, so I'm going to use my scout rifle here for a minute. Save your grenades if you want to save those for the overload captain, but your hand cannon should do the work. All you got to do is tag them a couple times. Notice all those tracer shots coming my way, though? Yeah, because those are arc. Those are still going to sting quite a bit. So you're going to have some adds in the back. Once you kill a certain amount, you'll have more spawn. So use this rock for cover. Those tracer shots do get to be a bit annoying. So just, take things out where you can. Hide when needed. Watch your health. Those little tracer shots just slowly trickle in when you're zoomed in, especially. And then all of a sudden, you're very low on health, and it's just kind of unfortunate. Champion has spawn, so now be careful. It's going to be kind of coming from that center section over here. So again, take out the guys you can so they're not throwing as many grenades. When the champion does finally show his face, you can deal with it. Now make sure your rocket is reloaded. He's going to be, doing his crazy teleporting thing that he does. Now, the thing about the champion shots, they are those little tracking arc ones on this one, so be careful. Hand cannons is still just that triple shot. And you can still kill them fairly quickly. That is why matching your heavy to the burn is really important, because there's just a basic rocket and still nearly knocked him out. Now you will have your first couple shanks over here with shields, so a couple solar shielded shanks. If you shoot one and your shield breaks, you're probably going to kill the other one. When you walk in here, you're going to have 2 Exploder Shanks. You have to kind of cross that little door threshold for them to spawn. Kill one, you usually will kill the other. Shield will come down, you'll start to see some enemies pop out. You can start picking those off. The more you pick off before they walk up the hill, the less you're going to have to deal with them being shielded by the barrier champion who's going to be coming down the hill. But staying up here, you can see a lot of ads that come out. Some will be on top, some will be these marauders, which is going to be, like, you know, invisible. But the more you can kill from far away, and the more that you can kill before the barrier servitor comes out, the more you just, you know, don't have to worry about that servitor blocking guys that you want to kill. Yeah, this is not my favorite hand cannon, as it's a 180. It's manageable, but I don't love it. So this should show you guys. Hopefully you can do this with pretty much any weapon you choose to. A couple ways to handle the barrier champions. They're really not too bad. If you want to pull them up here, it's not a bad way to go. Just be ready. If he teleports, you know, you might even want to pull some high ground up here. Just be careful what can hit you. Got an Exploder Shank down here. I'm trying to just blow him up so I don't have to worry about him. There we go. Now, depending on what's up here, the Marauders get to be a little annoying. But if you get that barrier servitor's health low enough, usually somewhere right around that first health bar in Legend, you will get them to spawn and explode. And the nice thing about an arc weapon or an arc rocket launcher here, you'll actually kill them if you put enough damage in. So just be ready always with the barrier breaking weapon pretty early on, and then that champion is down. Next champion is going to be a overload captain back there. You're going to have a few more ads. So again, you could push up a little more if you want to, throw a grenade. I'm just trying to pick everything off in the most normal of fashions for you guys. Now, when the ads start popping out, you're going to have a couple. You're going to have a Vandal back here, so it works to take him out early. There's going to be a Vandal on this left side over here, which I haven't seen yet, but we will shortly. Exploder Shank, just so you don't get, you know, blown up. Now, there's the one on the left-hand side. This one typically falls over here, kind of by those big exhaust, you know, rocket vents. And you still have one. I've still got one at least. Make sure your Exploder Shanks are dead. You don't want them to ruin your day. Now, if you want to be safe, you can pick off what you can from back here, a couple dregs. But if you want to push up a little closer, and the Exploder Shanks are not all on top of you, these seem to be coming oddly in waves. Normally, they're just like all together. They're just spaced out oddly this run, so make sure if you hear that beep, just jump up in the air and be careful, because if you're up here, you can get shot by the Vandals and things of that nature, but those Exploder Shanks will just really ruin your runs. Now, as it's a Legend run, this one's a bit more manageable. When this thing is on Master, really annoying. I think this is the one that I was trying last week or two and a half ago that had attrition on it. Not a fan of that modifier. But if you can hang back here and deal with some of these ads without the big guy messing with you, or if he does get to you, it's not as big of a deal either. Now, you also might have a Shank or two getting you up top. Now, if it's not shielded, you can shoot it. And if you get tagged on the left, which is the two I forgot to tell you guys about, you'll die. So, quick reminder, as you get up to about this point, don't forget these two. Two little Tracer Shanks sitting over here on this side. They're fairly staggered, so you got to make sure you kill them both. As their arc and their sniper, couple quick taps and you will go down. So, prime example why... don't forget about those. So once you're about at this point, you got a couple of the Vandals down, you're at a reasonable point. Say you come up over here, make sure you kill those Shanks over there, because they will kind of ruin your run, and so will falling down. Yes, you guys destroyed me. Good job. Not ever really too worried about deaths in these things. They're not that bad. You got plenty of deaths and plenty of time to get through this. I got a decent amount of heavy ammo to work with, so the biggest thing I need to do now is just stagger the captain. I can jump up here, watch up top, but usually it's only one that will tend to do that too. But if you're up here, you just got to figure out where he's at. Now, if he's like right below me, quick stagger, quick shot, get your weapon back out, keep firing. Now, I could run down there, probably go for the finisher. If you want to be a little safer, just keep firing that overload weapon. Now, that's a prime example of how firing an overload weapon, and he still was working on getting his health back. So... overloads are still the most annoying and kind of broken thing possible, in my opinion. So if you have an issue with an overload captain, take a second, let him reset, let him get all his health back. If it's like really like frustrating and the health bar is bouncing or whatever, just take a second and reset it. So once you're over here, you're going to find the rest of your shanks. This is, again, why you need a solar weapon, because there's sections of shanks. And again, make sure your rocket's ready. Don't blow yourself up on a wall. Ask me how I know why. And then once you get this thing about low, you know, half low on health, you'll see it pop. Break the shield, let it explode, shoot the rocket, tends to die. Now, it looks like I got one more shank hanging up here. Come up top. See what's alive and see what's dead. And again, if you guys have supers, use them. I'm literally just not using them, so you guys don't have to depend on anything that I'm doing. So hopefully you can just make your runs easier and not have to do anything that I'm doing. Not a bad little hand cannon. I still don't love 180s, but this one's actually reasonable. Now, this is one of the nightmare-style enemies, so you're not going to do as much damage to them until you find one of those nightmare ads to kill. Get the little orb pickup for the unstable essence, and then you can do more damage. That doesn't mean if you have 8 rockets to not shoot them. You'll just get more damage out if you're low on ammo. Like, you got like 2 rockets left and you want to save them. When you get those nightmare enemies out here and you pick up that essence, your rocket's going to hit a lot harder. Once you get about that first health chunk gone, you'll usually get, there it is, that champion to appear. It's going to be a barrier champion. Now's not a bad time to throw a grenade. Just kind of let it tick damage on anything running by up there. A lot of stuff will be coming through. If you're worried about health or safety or just surviving, you can pop down here. And then start working the ads that are going to be up above. Now, if the barrier servitor hangs out here, cool. He likely will teleport to another direction. So work some of the ads down so you've got a decent area of attack. But you're pretty much just going to have to tackle this guy. Now, if you get a powerful super, this is the champion I would probably use it on. Now, why he is back there, I have no idea. Now, if I hit him that big, I got to make sure I'm ready to stun. And that explosion will probably kill him. So if you get him a little low, still hasn't staggered, and he's just chilling out, well, that's a good time to actually use your heavy, rocket, grenade launcher, whatever. Mess him up a little bit, be ready for the stagger if it doesn't kill him, and then you can usually finish him pretty quick. Now, this guy's just going to bounce back and forth for like an hour. He's annoying, I'll be honest. But as he bounces back and forth, if you try and hit him with a rocket, it's probably just going to go by because he'll just, you know, slightly juke out of the way. But he's about half health. That's why 1310 Legend Lost Sectors, they're not that bad. I'm going to go for a hand cannon for hopefully a little more damage on the crits. And again, if you push up a little bit, he might move. But the reason I'm going after him specifically is because when he drops that essence, it's going to allow me to do more damage to the boss. And you'll see the chunks of damage that I hit in comparison. So I'll show you guys one. This one hits for 66 and 20k, just for a prime example. Now, once you get this thing over here, which I could probably go finish him, but I'm close. Now when I pick up the unstable essence and I hit him again, I'm going to hit 66 and 41. So there's a better chunk of damage. And the unstable essence is still on, so if I really want to go for the finish, there are no more champions, and that will definitely finish it up. The unstable essence is always weird. It's unreliable. You're going to have a few of these wretches. You know, if you got a grenade. Nice little chain reaction there. It's about 10 minutes, and this is slow. I've done this thing about 5-6 minutes if you're pushing, you're using supers and other things. But that is K1 Crew Quarters. You'll have this one valid for 24 hours, roughly. And then tomorrow it will be Master difficulty, so you'll see more champions, more modifiers, things like that. If you guys want to see this one in Master, let me know. Been working on grinding some of those out as well. If you guys are going for Triumphs, I know that's a thing. Let's get back to Orbit. We'll wrap this thing up. But that pretty much wraps this one up for today, guys. So K1 Crew Quarters, biggest thing. You've got the barrier servitors. You've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you've got 3. One down in the middle section where all the ads start spawning, kind of in that low section. You've got the Overload Captain before and after that first champion. And then you've got the barrier servitor up top, and then the barrier servitor that spawns partway through. Arc damage as you burn. Bring whatever arc heavy weapon you can. satisfy your solar shank shield requirement. And then personally, I still like hand cannons for overload captains. That's personally my preference. But if you got an exotic like, oh, I don't know, Curious of the Falling Star, and you want to use it with Thunder Crash, go for it. You can do a lot more damage. You can do things a lot faster than I did using the exotic. Like Wardcliff Coil is probably just melting half of this room. So trust me, that's a viable option. And if I do a master run, I would use a more optimized loadout since Arc has quite a few cool options to it. But for a legend run, this is a basic run, and you guys can take anything that you've got in your toolkit, make it better. So if you did enjoy this video, drop a like below, leave questions if you've got opinions about anything, if you've got comments about other loadouts that you guys like using. That's a live video for you. Let me know as well. If you guys are new to the channel and enjoyed this and you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. That's a nice way to support me and also help my videos make it to you. You guys can find me on Twitter and also over on Twitch. Typically Tuesdays are Destiny streams, and then other days can be a variety of things, including Destiny. So thank you guys. I'll see you soon. Have a good one.